How's it going out there? It is great to see everybody. My name is Javier. I'm one of the guys that threw this thing together, so hopefully you guys have a great time. We're doing this to introduce some of our guests right now.
Oh, they can't see you.
First up, we're going to have Mr. Chuck Huber. Give it up to Mr. Chuck Huber.
I am Android 17, and I'm going to destroy you all right now. Oh, no, don't do that. I'm also Emperor of Elof and Shao Tucker. Don't hate me for Shao Tucker. Don't get too mad.
I love you for Shao Tucker.
You do. You're a twisted individual. The cow goes moo, the cat goes meow, the dog goes, Edward, kill me. Is it too soon? Too soon for that? I think it might be a little bit too soon.
Is it just me, or is the energy just a little bit bigger and better than it was last year? Let's take a moment to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Ryofu, and you are watching The Gaming Harbinger. So, as some of you may be aware, the dates of Anime Oklahoma changed. So, because of this, Anime Oklahoma 2021 happened in November, and for this year, we're having Anime Oklahoma happening on September 9th through the 11th. I remember Friday of 2021, I was a little concerned about Anime Oklahoma's future and the turnout, really low numbers, like lower than what I would expect from a small convention such as this. And then Saturday happened. Then I was like, okay, people are coming. They're showing up. Okay, that's good. So hopefully this was enough that we can get another year. And maybe, you know, the pandemic, maybe it'll be a little more subdued. People will be more inclined to show up to conventions. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. It went down this year, and there were way more people than there were last year. In fact, we could end it right here and just say Friday's numbers for this year look like a Saturday. That sums it up right there. Friday last year, it was a little bit of a ghost town, and I was a little concerned, but Friday murdered it. Saturday, they murdered it. So I'm very pleased with the numbers. I'm very happy that we can look forward to continuing to build up this community. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to happen this year. I will say this, I think at this point, people are ready to get back to normal and just have fun. Go out to events, enjoy themselves, or at least attempt to get back to normal. So this year they had voice actors Trina Nishimura, Chuck Huber, Neil Kaplan, and Paul St. Peter, just to name a few. They also had cosplay guests such as Mrs. Faye, Honor Lychee, and Lizzie Hedgehog. So this year there were clearly more guests than the first 2 years of Anime Oklahoma. Now I'm gonna say also the size of the gaming room for this year, I thought it was pretty good, pretty solid size for this convention. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not saying this to be mean or anything like that, but the size of this gaming room was not much smaller than the Anime Fest one. I'm just saying, I'm keeping it 100 with you. I'm not saying they had as many events going on or they had as many tournaments going on as Anime Fest, but I'm just saying, they had a pretty solid gaming room. I have to give credit where credit is due. Good job, Anime Oklahoma. So before I could even get anything started, one of the cool deals with Anime Oklahoma is that if you reserve a room in the hotel, you get one free badge. So that means, yeah, if you stay there for 2 nights, you get another free badge. And I believe they have a deal where if you get it for the whole weekend, they'll just throw in an additional one. So that means technically you could run off with 3 badges. So the first panel I went to was run by The Con Hour, which is a podcast, and they were answering questions in regard to starting out as a podcaster. What do you need? What kind of equipment? So on and so forth. And it was pretty much ran like a Q&A which was not what I was expecting, but this was still helpful because they were very honest and genuine about answering questions. Some of you that have known me for a while know that my initial intention prior to YouTube was to start a podcast. I felt like that was my calling since I'm like naturally long-winded and I can talk for a long time. So I figured this was calling me. That's what I felt. This is my nature. But things kind of got in the way and I felt like I couldn't find any co-hosts. And at the time, I didn't know there was a thing as people running a podcast with one person. Now I see that people are doing it all the time. In fact, I have a really good friend that is running one by himself. But at the time I didn't know that. So I just kind of gave up on the idea. And somehow I started piecing things together and I said, you know what? Let me try my luck at YouTube. Let me see what this is all about. And I just started researching, and that's how the Gaming Harbinger came to be. I gotta be honest, I gotta share this story. So during this panel, there was a moment one of the co-hosts got asked a question by an attendee, and it was such a generic, easy question. And it was like, so what's your favorite anime? And then the co-host, her head slowly tilts down and she's like, okay, here's the thing. And as soon as that happened, it got quiet. The energy changed immediately. You know where this is going. Don't make me say it, but I'm gonna say it. She was like, I don't really watch anime. And without skipping a beat, the person, the cosplayer that asked the question, she's like, oh my God, it was just so freaking hilarious how she said this. It was the comedic timing was just like perfect. She was like, excuse me? What did you say? Oh my God, I freaking lost it. And I wasn't the only one. Like everybody else was losing it at this point. And she was like, yeah, you know, I really don't watch anime. But you know, I'm here to help with any questions involving podcasting. Now, oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, this is a moment where, and I'm not trying to be dramatic because really, you know, it's a small convention. At this panel, maybe there were like roughly, I don't know, there might have been 30 people attending this particular panel. But I want to say this. I really respect everybody that went to this panel because that was a moment, you know what I mean? They could have got a little dragged. They could have got clowned on. But you know what happened? They kept it moving. The girl that asked the question, she had some jokes and she was throwing them at her. Dude, I wish I could remember them. I can't even remember them. But the way, like, the jokes were freaking hilarious. But at the same time, this lady, you know, she took it like a champ. She didn't make a big deal. She didn't say, well, you know what? I just don't like anime because of this. Or I don't like anime because of that. Or whatever. She just rolled with the punches. And then guess what? The other chick, she made her jokes. She kept it moving. That was it. It was over and done with. And I could see immediately someone else quickly jumped in and was like, oh, hey, I see your shirt you're wearing. So have you been watching all the Star Wars series that have came out on Disney Plus? I mean, they just like that. And, you know, I want to say, like, I know it doesn't happen often, especially in today's time, but you have to respect when people do conduct themselves as adults and they don't flip out, they don't get angry, they don't cuss people out. You know, they got off the jokes. She took the hits, she kept it moving. The person that did the jokes, she's like, okay, I did the jokes, it's done. Conversation's over. We're moving on to something else. And I really respect that. But for that brief moment, that was freaking hilarious, man. Excuse me? Oh my God, I freaking lost it. So when the opening ceremony happened, they were only able to introduce a few guests. I think there were some issues with getting some guests to OKC. So that was the reason why this happened.
Raise your hand if this is your very first convention. Raise your hand. Ooh, wow. That is amazing, guys. I don't know if you guys know. So there's two very important metrics that we have here at Animeoklahoma that we have that not many conventions have. One, about 44% of this convention is first-time convention goers. That's a very high percentage. You have a lot of, give yourselves a hand, give yourselves a hand. The other metric is that we say to pay attention to our age demographics. Okay, most of our age demographics are between 25 and 35. Well, this one, it's almost split evenly all the way up until 60. It's really incredible. We have people of different ages and different backgrounds. We have people from New Jersey. We have people from Florida, California. We have one from Washington. I was like, how in the heck did you find Animeoklahoma? But I'm not going to ask questions. You know, it's fine.
I didn't know what to expect from true con horror stories. Let me just say I wasn't disappointed. Javier did a good job. He gave us insight into some of the wacky but engaging convention shenanigans he had been through with organizing conventions. At one point, he even recognized me and remembered me by my last name, which is freaking hilarious. He even had a moment where he used me as like someone to go like, see, do you remember when they were saying all that bad stuff about us in the comments? And I was like, yeah, I kind of remember that. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I have to give Javier his props. He is always visible all over the con, walking around and talking to people. And the bottom line is this, the man is really about this community. Now, before I go any further, I do want to give a disclaimer that the following Saturday, I had to attend a funeral. And the bottom line is this, family comes before any convention, any day, anime or otherwise. So I knew and I accepted the fact that I was not going to be able to attend anything between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And to be honest with you, I mean, some people might look at that and just say, yo, why didn't you just spend the entire day with family? But you know, you just kind of pick and choose what to do and how to handle situations accordingly. And I felt like, you know, I went to the funeral, I spent time, and eventually I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go back now. And so due to that, I did miss quite a few things on Saturday, but I still made the best of it. And honestly, I still ended up having a good time. Even at one point, I was able to meet up with my best friend around 3 o'clock, and this was for the Trina Nishimura Q&A. And we had a good time at that. And also at the same time, I'm also catching up with her, seeing what she's been up to. After this, I took some time with the homie to look around and check out the dealer's room. Just like the gaming room, I think this was a pretty decent dealer's room. And before you step into the dealer's room, they had some artists in the hallway selling prints and crafts, t-shirts, etc. I think for the size of the con, they had plenty of stuff to sell attendees. So one of my favorite panels from Animeoklahoma was Guess That Anime Opening by Black Nerd Rises. In fact, I learned something truly amazing at this panel. I would be an absolute trash contestant. Sometimes I feel like an old man that has forgotten every single anime I have ever watched. My best friend, on the other hand, would have killed it. She would have smoked me, like there is no denying it. She was familiar with all of the current stuff that I clearly was not aware of. The turnout for this panel was pretty good as well. I finally gave in. I went to the dark side and I made a TikTok for the Gaming Harbinger. Now, I want to be honest with you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It is not meant for people my age, that's for damn sure. But what I'm going to try to do is, obviously most of you know that I'm pretty long-winded. My videos are on the longer end. So with TikTok, I have to think in a different way. And if I can make highlights, or more importantly, I kind of want to make something that's a little more original. Like I put clips from the Black Nerd Rises panel. I put those on TikTok because they're freaking hilarious. And guess what? The people that have seen them have enjoyed them. So I want to include the link in the description for the TikTok that I created for the Gaming Harbinger, as well as if you don't want to look it up that way, you can also just go to the profile of the channel and go to the About page and you can see all the links for the Gaming Harbinger. So the next panel I checked out was Building the Convention for the Future. This was another panel ran by Javier, the director. Pretty much he was explaining that his mentor was the one that was running AzumiCon back in the day, and he wanted to take it back to those glory days, and he remembered how inspired he was by his mentor, and he wanted to just do him justice. the way AzumiCon ended, like I said, for those that are here, those that are a part of the community know, and he wanted to clean that up, and I really, really appreciate that. One of the things he was really quick to drop in this panel was that the vendors had already made back their money the first day of the convention, which that is awesome, and I could really tell that we had way more attendees than the year before. I had a feeling it was already a success. I was able to check out Chuck Huber's How to Survive the Apocalypse panel, and mistakenly, when I first saw it, I thought it said How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse. This was essentially a panel about a couple of different conspiracy theories. Totally not for everyone. Probably not for me either. But I was curious. I'm not a conspiracy guy whatsoever, but I will say this, Chuck Huber is an incredible voice actor. And this was just one of the many things that intrigues him, so that's why he made this panel. And if I were to be completely honest with you, I do kind of respect that they allowed him to have a panel like this, because I've never seen any kind of panel like this done at an anime convention. And they gave him free reign and let him speak his truth, speak his mind, and say how he felt about certain things, controversial topics and whatnot. And I respect that. One of the last panels I checked out was a Lido demonstration. These guys were extremely thorough and passionate about this skill set. As someone that knows nothing about Lido or anything sword related, I found it very fascinating. I also found it very refreshing how open they were to questions about Lido. So in conclusion, I had a really good time this year. I'm very pleased with the direction that Javier is taking this anime convention. So I know I missed a couple of the voice actor panels, and I also missed the cosplay contest. I actually wanted to cover the cosplay contest this year because specifically smaller conventions, I feel like that's like the moment that's like an opening invitation, just showing anyone that they can do this. Anyone can come to an anime convention and have a good time. And I feel like that's kind of one of the gateways is cosplay, as well as it gives an opportunity for like beginner cosplayers to not feel pressure like they have to be super amazing. And I kind of wanted to highlight that. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to do that, but it's okay because I intend to cover this next year. And like I said, I think it's important for smaller conventions to showcase that anyone can do this. Anyone is more than welcome to join in the fun. I just want to say that I'm really happy that Anime Oklahoma was a success this year, as well as I am very proud of the Oklahoma City community. If you enjoy videos like this, please leave a like, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know which videos you prefer. Last time I asked about convention videos and stuff, which by the way, this concludes it. I don't intend on going to another anime convention this year. Anything's possible. There could be one more, but that's 4, baby. That's 4. I broke my record. Pretty happy, pretty happy. But if you like this kind of content, I'll continue to make it. And the last time I asked if everyone liked or wanted to see more convention content, the answer I got was yes. Yes, we like it. And the views pretty much show that people like seeing the convention stuff. So I feel like it's enough that I should keep making videos on this. And by the way, if you know anyone in the Oklahoma City area, share the video with them. Let them know what's going down in this city. As always, I appreciate you watching the video to the very end, and I will see you next time.